What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ and we are back this week with a 2023 Chevrolet Colorado, and this trim level in particular we are going to be discussing today is a Trail Boss. We're going to mention some of the other stats, figures, the differences, all of that kind of stuff. We are almost to 19,000 subscribers, chasing 20,000. Thank each and every one of you. We are going to start with the exterior stats, figures, all of that fun stuff, go to the interior, and then we are going to take it on a drive. So without further ado, let's roll. Starting with some of the stats and figures. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. So let's get right into this. This Colorado Trail Boss has 310 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque. The two lower trim levels, WT and LT, have a cheaper optional lower horsepower engine pushing 237 horsepower. The transmission is an 8-speed automatic. If you go up to the ZR2, however, which is the top of the line, you are going to be looking at 430 pound-feet of torque, which is higher, obviously, than the Trail Boss and every other trim level. Drivetrain is four-wheel drive. However, you can have an optional rear-wheel drive on some of the other trim levels below this. Curb weight, you're looking at 4,640 pounds, and with all of that said, it's going to be pushing this Trail Boss from 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds, but I'm going to be honest, I am thoroughly impressed with this motor on this vehicle, and to me, it almost feels faster than that. Towing capacity on the Trail Boss is 7,700 pounds. Pricing starts around $30,000. For the base, trim level order starts at WT, goes to LT, then to the Trail Boss, then to the Z71, and then to the ZR2. Tester today, we are looking at $41,195, and that is including the destination charge. Looking at the vehicle from the rear, let's touch on the dimensions real quick. So you're looking at a width of right around 6.3 feet. And then the bed is right around 5.1 feet, which brings us to our overall length being a crew cab at right under 17.8 feet. So, ground clearance, if we get down here, you're probably already noticing this one is up in the air a little bit more than your average Colorado. So, you are looking at 9.5 inches on the Trail Boss, while the WT and the LT trims only have around 7.9 inches, and then the Z71 is kind of your middleman, looking at 8.9 inches. Over on the driver's side is the fuel door. Your gas tank size, you're looking at 21.4 gallons with a fuel economy of 17 city, 21 highway, and a combined average of 19 mpgs. And I must say that is definitely a unique fuel door. Most of them are square or circle. That is a triangle, which is kind of unique. Okay, let's go ahead and walk around it really quick. Let me point out some of the details you may not notice from far away, just because attention to detail does matter, at least to me it does. So let's do that, and then let's jump to the interior. So, starting up front, you are going to notice the Trail Boss right there. And then the one detail that I noticed, if I can get myself out of the way, it's basically like a carbon fiber right here, and then it says Chevrolet in there. Hopefully you can see that really good. That's a pretty cool little detail, I think, right there on the corner. As far as the arches go, or moldings, whatever you want to call them, they are plastic. Kind of makes sense on the Trail Boss. I still would rather have paint match. You guys know, if you're not new to my channel, I am not a fan of plastic on the wheel wells. And then 265, 65, 18s, a little bit beefier tires for sure. They do look pretty good though. I love the black. And then I think pretty controversial is the Colorado up top. Generally they're located, you know, down in this region, and they relocated it up there, and it's a little bit below the door handle, so I'll leave that for you guys to decide whether you like that or you don't, but it is different. And stepping around to the rear on the corner, you do have a little step so you can help yourself up into the bed, which is useful. This particular truck has the trailering package, so you're going to notice all of the hookup points for that. The backup camera is located right next to the tailgate handle, and then you have a single exit exhaust on the passenger side. Time to step into the interior. I always test whether it's easy to get in or not. Again, this has the highest ground clearance, so I don't know if you can see this, but this is literally above my knee. Hopefully you can see that. Nonetheless, and then my head is actually higher than the cab, and I'm 5'9" for those of you that don't know. Or higher than the door entrance, not the entire cab, but you know what I mean. You can see it right there. That's pretty level. So looking in here, there is a handle in the rear you can hold on to if you would like. Stepping up, there is a pretty big step. I mean, it's not small. So let's see here, hoisting myself up and in, and it's a climb. It's a climb. If you're 5'9", it is a climb. It's not like it's like crazy or obnoxious, but it is up there. So if you're on the shorter side like myself, then you may not, if you're older and you struggle getting into a vehicle, you may want to consider one of the trim levels that are not as high as the Trail Boss. Now, while we are back here, how do we fit? So head-wise, we've got, as far as the room goes, I would say 1.5 inches, 2 inches up there. And then this seat is exactly where I drive. There's probably another 1.5 inches, 2 inches, somewhere in there. So if you were like 6 foot even or less, I would say you'd be fairly comfortable back here. The seating position is pretty upright, so if you're used to sitting upright, good for you. I like to slouch backwards. You can't do that in this, so if I was in this for a long period of time, I would not be that comfortable, but that is all personal preference. That's just how it is. There is 2 cup holders. You have your own vents back here, which definitely does help. Checking out the materials on the door. It's like a hard rubber right there. I mean, there is not much give. I mean, just barely. This is all hard. Everything is hard plastic. Okay, time to step into the front. Again, not going to be too much different. Obviously, the ride height is the same, and there is no handle. There's nothing, not up here, nowhere. So, especially if you struggle here, I don't know why they didn't include a handle. To me, that's a little quirky. Nonetheless, I do find myself several times just using the steering wheel right there, just holding on. And then just kind of coming in, and just like that. So, again, it's not like it's that hard, but if you are older or have back issues or leg issues, that may be an issue for you. So you might want to consider one of the trim levels that have a lower ride height. Starting with the door over here, again, it is just, I wish up here, at least just right here, this should be like a leatherette and or soft padding or something, because there's a hair of rubber behind it, I guess, but I mean, it's just hard. It's all hard plastic. So that is unfortunate, but nonetheless, that is not what this truck is about. I'll tell you that right now. Checking out the steering wheel, I do like the design. Anytime I can set my hand right in the middle, it is great. However, the only knock on the steering wheel I may have and or improvement is it feels kind of like a little Tykes, right? Like there's There's a little bit of rubber over here that texturized, but then you can literally hear the difference in the wheels. So it feels kind of plasticky. I love the design. I love the look of it. Like, it looks really good. I just wish the materials were a little bit different. I don't expect a leather steering wheel necessarily in this, but just a little bit like a softer material. I don't like feeling the plastic. It just doesn't feel great on your hand. Now, what looks great up ahead is an all new full digital screen. That's super nice. And then over here, we have a nice big screen as well. I do like that. It's either 11.1 or 11.3. Again, sorry, I'm going off of memory here, but it is over 11 inches. So it is nice and big. It's responsive as soon as you touch it. I mean, you can see it goes into anything you want it to. Love their new system as far as that goes in Chevrolets. That's honestly, that's one of the industry leading touchscreens in my opinion. Now, coming down here, hopefully, yeah, you can see that pattern really good on camera right now. Like, this little pattern that they've done throughout the vehicle, it's like in the door jambs and stuff, it's super cool. I love that design. You've got two different chargers right here, your auto stop start. We're gonna go ahead and turn that off because who likes that? I don't. You do not have automatic temperature control. If you go up in trim level, you do get that. You can also get heated seats, cooled seats, and a heated steering wheel. Which is none of which optional on the Trail Boss. Down below, you do have a normal shifter, auto, 2 high, 4 low, 4 high, and of course just on auto. You can see on the screen right there, I just leave it on auto, and it does a really good job on auto because if I just smash it and go, it literally will accelerate almost, I mean, like, there's no slippage, so it must automatically just kick it in because, again, most trucks, the back's gonna kind of start to slide out. This does not, which is good. I think that is about it. Let's go ahead and get this Trail Boss out on the road. So as we get this Trail Boss out on the road, here's what I'll tell you. My favorite part by far of this truck is the motor. The motor on this vehicle is so peppy. You can literally hear the turbo spooling up, blowing off. Like if you have the windows down. If you have the windows up, you can't really hear it, but it's got a lot of pep. It is impressive, to be honest with you. Like, I am thoroughly impressed with the motor on this. There were many critics. I mean, people were upset, right? Like, they were getting rid of the Duramax. Like, why would you get rid of the Duramax? And I gotta tell you, this seems really good, really good. All right, for those of you that are new to my channel, I always start out with a 0 to 60 and we just punch it and go. That's all we do. So ready, set, go. 30, 50, 60. So it's I'm impressed. Like, it's so good. Like, so there's a little bit of turbo lag. So once it hits about like 2,500 to 3,000, somewhere in that region, that's when it just, like, you can literally just feel it. Like, it just takes off. Like, that's the only, like, room for improvement, really. Like, if they figured out a way to kind of get rid of the turbo lag, it would be scary fast for a little 4-cylinder truck. Like, to be honest, this is one of the faster 4-cylinders I've driven in a vehicle. I mean, I've driven a few faster, like in sedans and stuff like that, but I mean, anything comparable, this by far is the most powerful. I mean, to be honest, it's faster than majority, like, V6s and all of that stuff in some of these mid-sized trucks. Like, it genuinely is impressive. Like, even my wife, like, just sitting in the passenger seat, she has been blown away. And she rides in every vehicle that I get for a press vehicle every week. And she will tell you the exact same thing. She will say, wow, the motor is the selling point on this truck, for sure. Interior on this Trail Boss, it's nothing to write home about. That's no secret, right? It's very plasticky, but you can fix that. And instead of going with this trim level, you can go to the Z71. You can get, you know, leather, pleather, whatever, heated seats, cooled seats, all that stuff as I already mentioned, heated steering wheel. You don't get any of that in this. I do wish that was optional on this, because there's many people that may just want one or two of those items optioned. I also wish there was more color options on the interior. You're pretty much stuck with what you get as you see it, unfortunately, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Now, let's test the sound. We have our barrier right here, cattle guard. So you can probably see my body move a little bit. That's pretty normal for any truck. The suspension was impressive as far as the sound goes. Again, I think it's good. Like, I don't think there's any issues with the sound. I will say on the freeway, there's a little bit of wind noise. I'm guessing if you go up in trim level, they probably reduce that. I don't know. I haven't had the higher trim yet, but certainly acceptable. I mean, again, you're looking at a vehicle that is very capable, towing around 7,700 pounds, and you're getting all for under $45,000. I mean, it's like 41 and some change, whatever I said it was. Like, that's impressive. That's good numbers, good solid numbers for what you're getting. There's too many people out there that try to compare a vehicle that is $41,000 to something that's 50 or 60. Very different price points, so I always, every review I do, if you're new to the channel, I try to compare this to apples, not apples to oranges, if that makes sense. There is an optional package this truck does not have, and that is adaptive cruise control. So this particular tester doesn't have it. I imagine it's the exact same as any other Chevrolet as far as the systems go. Pretty much the softwares are all the same. They just get applied to each vehicle. Chevrolet, I've never had an issue with their adaptive cruise control. So I do wish this tester had it, just so that I could, make sure to say that, so I can't touch on it too much. However, it is an option if you would like to get adaptive cruise control. All right, we coming up to a left turn. Let's test the body roll here. 23 miles an hour. There's obviously some body roll, but it's certainly, there's less than like a Silverado, like a full-size truck. Like, there's definitely less body roll. So that's good. That's what I expect in a smaller truck. Let's touch on visibility very quickly. So there is an optional safety package. This one does not have it, where you have blind spot monitoring. This one, again, does not have it in particular. Checking over to our left, pretty easy to see out of, no issue. Over to our right, yeah, pretty much no issue over to our right either. So as far as blind spots go, there's not much, to be honest. So you're good to go in that front. Overall, I am very pleased with how this truck drives. To me, that is a selling point. If you were to just simply look at the interior of a Trail Boss, I don't know if that's going to sell you per se. I think once you drive this vehicle, I think that's probably what's going to sell you. That's just my personal opinion. I really do think once you drive it, you're going to think very differently than just looking at the interior. So go drive one and let me know what you think. Anything that I am missing, comment down below. Happy to answer. If I don't know it, I will reach out to my Chevrolet rep and get back to you. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, chasing 20,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.